What is up, YouTube? It's been a while since my last tier list video, but here it is. Some of you have requested that they want a tier list for characters in story, so here's my take on it. In the P tier is characters that you should basically not even consider using in story unless it's a specific story star. Maybe in the future I'll make tier lists for the specific star type, like weapon only and such, and then like the list will obviously include a lot less characters, but this is overall if you're just trying to beat the story as a whole, not trying to get specific type stars. In A tier is characters that you might find use of, but you basically aren't going to use any of them as long as you have the higher tier ones. S tier is units, again, like you can use Kun's revivability if you have a DPS that isn't from top tier to maybe prolong it. Simira, she can do a decent amount of damage but doesn't have survivability, same for Q. Sujin could be useful if you can't survive and you need a bit more time to attack with your DPS. In SS tier is characters that are like strong but also not the best. As you can see, he won't be able to stun because normally story characters don't have any buffs. GKZ is nice, but you also need to add some debuff accuracy based on higher floors. Mujin, he's good, but after turn 1 he's just going to be one shot. Calavan, depends how well build you have. You can use him in combination with some of the triple S heroes to maybe beat some of the story, but I haven't tried it personally, so don't know if I should be recommending it. And these are again units that are okay, but as long basically all you need to look at is the triple S tier, because anything else is just if you're at lower parts of the story and you are trying to just get as far as you can to get one of these units. But if you have these units, the first 5 are absolute buffers. You do not need them early on, but at the later stages they make life a lot easier. Mame Shiba is one of the best. Unleashed Raziel is, however, the MVP because he can make it so you can make a team of 3 DPS and him, and you just give absolute buff turn 1 to all 3 of the DPS, and then if you attack with all 3 of them, you easily just clear the floor turn 1. Mame Shiba, again, if you don't have Unleashed Raziel, she can buff 1 unit, and if your strongest unit is good enough, it can one-shot most of the time. This, again, same as Mama Shiva, but a bit worse. Cat Death is a bit more tricky, because you need the commander. So when one unit dies, you bring a sec unit. Then you get 70 absolute buff, and you can deal even more damage. So for harder floors when Mama Shiba isn't enough, and you can afford to sack, you're not trying to go for stars and such. Obeda, again, another absolute buff, but Mama Shiba is better. These DPS are basically ones who have the 2-turn immortality and deal the most amount of damage. So if you're looking for something to clear the stories, you want to bring one of these 3, if you can, one of these 4, if you can, maybe even all 4, and Mame Shiba or Unleashed Raziel so you can buff all of them. Heavenly Warlord Dark, it might be a bit conflicting because he can pretty easily die, but for him the special thing is that he just deals the most amount of damage. So if you're trying to one-shot the stage, you can bring Mame Shiba and him, or if it's even tankier, you can bring Cadet and a buffer as a sack unit. The first attack, the sack unit dies, Cadet gives the absolute buff, and then he just one-shots everything. Also, if you manage to make him survive turn 1, he will revive anyone that has died. But other than that, the basic way that most people farm the story early on is you bring one of these 5 tanks, mixed in one of these 2 healers. Usually Valk is better. So, for example, Valk in PKU, Valk and Sujin Rag, Valk in Lifeguard Poo, Valk in Yama. For Mash Lime, it's not that good because she can't taunt, but she has other uses which make her triple S tier. Pooh, she can revive, and that's basically it. If you like this and found it useful, drop a like, follow, and hope I see you next time. If you want, you can also suggest possible future tier lists. See ya!